So here's a fun question to start your evening with. What if I was to tell you that the world's most famous demonologists didn't prove that demons exist? They just proved that storytelling works really, really well. Because for over 50 years, millions of people believed that Ed Warren and Lorraine Warren were humanity's last line of defense against literal hell. Weirdos, balls and ghouls. Interesting, quick little Warren episode from me, because it's something I've touched on quite a lot recently, and given the Conjuring House drama and the stuff with Alton Casties and Matt Rife and the Warren home, it just feels right for me to remind people on my thought processes on the Warrens. Because weirdos, boils and ghouls, despite everything that they did, all it took was no evidence, no credentials, and a lot of really confident talking from Ed Warren. Today we are breaking down how the Warrens fooled the world, but not with demons, but with timing, authority, and well, a perfectly engineered illusion. Now before you all start kicking off and hyperventilating down in the comment section, this isn't the Warrens bad lol. They were, but this isn't that. And I'm not attacking belief, and I'm not attacking religion. And I'm not attacking people that enjoy paranormal stories, because I can still watch the Conjuring movies as a work of fiction and absolutely love them for what they are. The original Conjuring movie is one of the greatest haunted house stories of all time. This is about how belief was constructed and how doubt was discouraged. And basically how two people became world famous without ever proving the one thing that they were actually famous for. Because if you strip away movie lighting and horror film scores and things like that, well, what you're left with is a masterclass in persuasion. The Warrens didn't rise because they were uniquely gifted. They rose because they just kind of turned up at the most ideal opportunity. Because America, post-war, was a pressure cooker. There was Cold War paranoia, nuclear annihilation anxiety, religion. It was booming after the war. There was a resurgence of religion. And to counter the religious revival, satanic panic was just starting to warm up and bubble. And people weren't asking, hey, is this all real? Are demons real? No, what they were actually asking is this why everything feels so dangerous? Is this why everything is so scary? And along come Ed and Lorraine Warren with a simple pitch. Demons are real, and lucky for you, we know how to spot them. Not only do we know how to spot them, but we can remove them. No fee. But we will own the book rights, we will own the movie rights, we own TV show rights, we get to tell your story our way. No, Ed and Lorraine Warren didn't really invent hauntings, but what they did do was they branded them. Ed Warren called himself a demonologist. Important for clarification, yeah? It's not exactly a recognised profession outside of the church, is it? Was there any certification for it? I don't think so. Was there a governing body? Was there any testing involved? It's just a word that he borrowed from the church and made it sound official. Lorraine Warren claimed to be a medium or a trance medium and a clairvoyant. Again, no testing. Again, no controlled experiments. Like most things in the paranormal, it was just vibes. The Warrens are also very smart in wrapping up all of their claims with Catholic symbolism, crucifixes, priests, exorcist language, because criticising the Warrens then didn't feel like you were questioning or criticising the Warrens or questioning evidence. What it actually felt like was you were questioning belief or you were questioning faith. And I don't think that's accidental. I think that's actually insulation. That's to protect themselves. Do yourself a favour and go onto YouTube and look up Ed and Lorraine Warren interviews and tell me, do you ever see Ed Warren say maybe? He never hesitates and he never doubts. His certainty is very persuasive. Even though I know that it's all hollow, he's still very convincing. So let's talk about the museum, the Warrens Occult Museum. As far as I'm concerned, a shed full of crap. But there's glass cases and there's warning signs and objects that you're told not to touch. Bitch. And it's not like you were told not to touch because it was verified that the cloth version of this idiot was dangerous or could damage you or hurt you. I mean, there's no proof that it can. Annabelle isn't powerful because she's cursed. Annabelle is powerful because you're told she's cursed. I mean, if you want to know how scary and powerful she is, Nesper have been touring her for years. Making money, people taking selfies in front of it. Annabelle isn't dangerous. There's photographs of Lorraine Warren holding her. There are also stories of Annabelle being passed around at parties, people laughing and joking with it. I'm glad I said it then, because I've been calling her. She's not a her. It's a fucking doll. Haunted objects, they gain power when you're not allowed to question them, or when your questions are discouraged. It's just, ooh, don't touch, death. It's classical psychological anchoring. This physical object, or the equivalent of her in the Warrens Occult Museum, it equals perceived reality. It's something you can see from the stories. This isn't just a demon. This house is a demon. You can't see a demon, but you can see Annabelle, and a demon may reside there. Back then, there were no experiments required. You just believed it. So let's talk about these stories, and one of the most famous cases was the Amityville horror, multiple movies remakes of movies. It's featured in horror video games as wallpapers. I used to have a photo of the boy on the stairs. But it's also the most broken case. There were conflicting testimonies, there were changed timelines, there were financial incentives everywhere for everyone. Even participants later admitted the parts of the story were fabricated. None of the timelines add up. It's bizarre how this thing gained as much traction as it did. Couldn't possibly be because of the book and the movie. If this was a court case, if this was taken to court to prove once and for all that Ed and Lorraine Warren were real, or at least they believed they were real, this wouldn't survive the opening statements. And somehow, this launched a paranormal empire. And then ask yourself why? Why or how did this start a paranormal empire? Well, times were different back then. Debunking was boring. Debunking wasn't a bunch of tattooed guys or guys wearing masks making jokes and inserting memes. It was people in suits doing very scientific investigations. Debunking was boring. Debunking is still boring to a lot of people that believe in the paranormal. But those scary stories, oh, they're sticky. Oh, they're exciting. They get the blood pumping. I still enjoy the stories as a work of fiction. And then Hollywood stepped in and they rewrote history. Suddenly the Warrens were these gentle heroes. Ed in the movies is not this opinionated, self-righteous prick that just points and tells you that he is 100% correct. They're treated like these reluctant saviors, even though that wasn't the case. They cold called people by knocking their door like, this is a painting. Look, there's a ghost in the painting. Let us in. You got a demon. In the movies, they're also framed as these morally flawless protagonists. In real life, they were very flawed. Just go and look up what has been said and what is out there right now about Ed Warren and the babysitter and Lorraine. The story is that Ed employed a babysitter to look after his daughter, even though they were the same age, and they were romantically involved, and Lorraine knew about it. What? There are also tales and stories out there of Ed being violent to Lorraine, and these are not the morally righteous, God-fearing people that we've been told they were. Because of the movies, there was no controversy, no victims, and no criticism. I mean, even the way that Ed Warren is portrayed in The Conjuring house, they don't show him getting smacked in the face and thrown off the property. The movies haven't adapted the Warren stories. They've actually laundered them. Because once you make a myth of someone, the facts stop mattering. And here's the uncomfortable part. The Warrens didn't fool the world alone. The world actually helped them. People want fear with rules. They want evil that they can point their finger at, something they can grasp, something they can see. People want certainty. They want safety. And the Warrens offered answers in a universe that doesn't give them. And that blueprint is all over the paranormal world, even to this day. And modern paranormal content, well, it follows the exact same blueprint. Confidence, emotion, and, well, now we've added merch into the mix. And instead of trust me, I'm a demonologist, it's trust me, bro, dude, my REM pod went off. Let's be fair, in the paranormal world right now, evidence is just an option. If the paranormal is real, and I really hope that it is, then doesn't it deserve just more evidence than these stories that fall apart under scrutiny? And if the paranormal isn't real, that's kind of more scary, because the real haunting isn't demons. It's how easy people can be manipulated and how easy belief can be engineered. The scariest thing in the Ed and Lorraine Warren story wasn't the demons, wasn't the ghosts, wasn't Annabelle, wasn't a haunted mirror or any cursed artifacts. It's how convincing their illusion was. So do please let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. Normally I get a lot of people throwing a lot of shade at me when it comes to Ed and Lorraine Warren, but listen, I stand my ground. I am more than happy to put these things out there because there's more truth in what I've just said than anything the Warrens ever put out into the world. There is more data, there are more facts out there that you can read for yourself than what they ever produced as evidence of any of their hauntings. Much love to you all. Beardo out.